to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to have a moment of silence for Jim Murphy that passed away since our last meeting. May he rest in peace.
Amen.
All right, just a housekeeping order here is when you go up to the microphone, there's wipes here, so wipe it off after you use it or before you use it, but you know, we want it wiped off between speakers, okay? Okay, roll call, please.
Ken Jerome,
Here.
Scott Harris, John Fricker,
Here.
Bill Stefano,
Here.
Mike Leyland,
Here.
Bill England,
Here.
and Isabel Costanzo is here.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Proof of notice?
Yes, it was properly noticed.
Okay, open forum. We have some cards that were supposed to be read at the September meeting, but we didn't have a September meeting. So I'm going to ask Robert Cheatham. You had 2 questions. If you could come up to the microphone and ask your questions, please. Are you here tonight?
Would you mind reading those?
Sure, I'll read them.
Thank you.
Okay, hey, you want to read that one? I went to the New York school system, so you know I can't read.
Hey, don't knock New York School. Don't do that.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel certain all records are proper and correct. However, it has been a number of years since we have had a certified audit. It is recommended by some HOAs to have an annual audit. There are a number of homeowners who feel that an audit is due.
Okay, you want to take that one, Eric, and
So-
tell them how we do this?
The audit is something that you vote on every year.
We can't hear you.
Yeah.
The audit is something that's on the proxy that you get every year, and you vote. So if you guys want to have the audit performed, just vote that way and try to get your neighbors to vote that way. And that's an easy one.
Okay, you want to read the next question, please?
Several years ago, it came up at a BOD meeting that it was considering having an engineering company determine whether our drainage system is still working properly. It had been approximately 35 years since it was completed. If we have an unusual rain, it could cause flood damage that could result in lawsuits against the HOA for not maintaining the drainage system.
Thanks. Okay, a number of years ago, I brought this up to Eric's attention because I was having flooding in front of my unit, and he went through and did quite a bit of work. I think we contacted the drain commissioner about that drain over there, but nothing has been done since then. But why don't you expound upon that?
Well, we did have a company that comes in and does that type of grading and the type of work that that Bob is referring to in the card. Come in, and what they did is they shot some elevations for us, which gives you an idea if the water's going to flow downhill or not. And I was expecting it to come back where we needed quite a bit of work, but it turns out everything was pretty much in good shape, elevation-wise. We went through hurricanes like Irma, and we didn't have flooding where many other communities did. And in general, when we get a bad storm or a tropical storm, it does get wet, and there's water on the ground, but it goes away within a reasonable amount of time, according to, if you look at what the standard is for that. We were looking at something similar to that with the tennis court, because it was standing water, and it gets under what's reasonable. So that's what it is. But we did shoot elevations, and we're planning on doing something, and it just wasn't necessary.
Okay, Pat and Ed, Ricky, when are you going to talk about the?
He always talks. My turn.
No, I mean, do you have both have questions?
No.
Just, so he's going to be the spokesman.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Good evening. I just wanted to make
Wipe it off.
I was going to do it after.
No, well, did they do it before you talked into it?
Nobody else did?
Yeah, well,
Okay. November 11th is Veterans Day. And few of us got together and we were going to have a ceremony out at the flag at 10 a.m. on Veterans Day, followed by coffee and donuts in here or outside, weather permitting. We know there's a 40-person max in the clubhouse. There'll be videos of all the pictures of the veterans, and anybody here that would like to come, we're going to have a sign-up sheet on the board due to the problem with the numbers. And anybody here that has a photo of a veteran and would like to submit it to the office or to Paul Johnson, and he'll get it posted on the video for viewing on Veterans Day. And there's going to be a little display set up here. It'll be a nice event. I think we owe a lot of these guys a lot of.
now we still have the stuff on the internet, the pictures, don't we?
Yeah, well, Paul put them so they'll all be shown
Okay,
up
good.
on the camera.
All right,
If you
good.
get any new ones, send them to us so we can put them on the internet. Also,
Okay.
on the website, we have a gallery of all your guys' photos.
Yeah, that's what Paul and I went through them.
Okay.
And he said that there was 4 or 5 people that gave him new photos already, so they'll be put on it.
Okay.
But we wanted to get the ceremony at the flag and then retire here for coffee and donuts.
What time is that again?
10 a.m. at the flag, and then after the little ceremony, we'll come back here for the coffee and donuts. Thank you. And it's all going to be jelly.
I have it.
11/11.
I have it.
11th hour and 11th month and 11th day.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
There'll be a poster up
Sorry,
soon.
you should have had it at 11.
Then it would have been a brunch.
Yeah. All right, Donna,
Thank you.
step up to the microphone, please. Yeah, well, you're on it, right? You signed up.
I signed up because,
You can take your face thing off if you want, if it's better for you.
doesn't matter. I would like to thank the board and everybody else who had anything to do with the roofing. The guys were very clean. I mean, as clean as they could be doing the roofing. They had tarp under there and everything so that no nails, no garbage came out, and then they even cleaned my patio when they were done with the major work. And they did a very good job. I really appreciate it. Thumbs up.
Okay, good.
Clean the microphone.
She's on the safety committee, she knows.
You hope.
We can't get a shot from that, can we?
It's not.
You can.
Oh,
Oh, God.
no. Oh, I was going.
Afala? Afala. Okay, and we got Skip,
Yes.
Afala.
Hey, just simple thing.
Why don't you step up to this microphone?
You can't hear me?
No, I can't.
No.
I want to hear it.
They can't hear you.
No, you don't.
I just like looking at you.
I see that. Two simple things. I'm out here in the morning and the ladies are coming by. Can you push the clubhouse to be open at 6:30 instead of 7? They need the restrooms.
I thought the thing opens at 8.
No, you can get in the clubhouse starting at 7 o'clock.
Oh, is that right?
Could it just be 6:30 for them with the early walkers?
We'll check into it.
Please, and well, I'm learning all these new dance steps, you know, from them holding out there. But
Whoa,
that's why I didn't want to come on. The other thing is, what are you doing about the people speeding through the neighborhood?
Oh, my God.
well, if you get me the guy's name, his
We
car,
handed
we'll
it
address
in,
him.
we've talked, we've done
Okay.
that, so please.
All right. We'll just have to keep on it, you know, I don't know what else you can do.
I go shoot his tire.
Well, then he'll slash yours. huh?
And then we'll start a war over here. It's not worth it.
All right, well, anyway, we'll address it, okay, Skip? All right, and I think that's all that we have on there. Is that correct? Anybody else? Okay. All right. Okay, reading and approval of the previous meeting minutes. You're up.
I move we waive the reading of the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. Managers report?
Welcome, everybody. It's so great to see everybody's beautiful masks. But it's nice to be here in person and actually have the board meeting. The pandemic took away many things from us. These meetings were one of them. I think meetings where the community can get together like this are integral to a happy and healthy community. And it's good for the residents to see the board conduct business and how the associations ran. Despite the pandemic, we've adapted. We closed the pool, closed the clubhouse, closed everything at first. We reopened the pool as soon as we could, originally with a scheduling system that we developed to control the density of people there at one time. As soon as it was appropriate, we lifted the capacity limit. And with sanitation and social distancing, it seems like the pool is almost back to the way it used to be. So keep it safe and we can continue that. It's really nice to have the clubhouse open again, despite the strict guidelines the board has put in place to try and prevent anyone from catching this disease. I think if everyone works together and we remain smart and vigilant, we'll be able to get back in business soon. I really hope that things get back to normal very soon. Some items of interest around the community that you're going to want to know about. Over the last couple months, we had 2 large tree limbs come down on their own. In response to this, we've inspected the trees. I've inspected the trees along with the owner of our tree service. We've identified several other limbs that could potentially be a problem in the future. And we want to be proactive and try to prevent further incidents. So we've got trimming scheduled to start within the next week or so. Roofing is moving along quite nicely. Frank's is doing a good job, just like Donna said. If you have any questions or concerns about your roof, please let me know and I'll be happy to help you. Crown Roofing was here, repairing the deficiencies we identified in the roofs they did in 2017. And overall, they did a good job. We're doing one last check on it with them, but we think they did a good job. Large trees and brush that are not on our property, but run along Sailview, damaged a long section of fence there. So we had to get all that brush removed and then obviously replace the fence. And that's about 30 feet of fencing that went down. I'm sure most of you noticed there's a lot of areas, sidewalks, things like that are a little dirty and could use power washing. We have the power washers scheduled to start November 16th. And our annual mulch installation will begin the last week of November or the first week of December, depending on how it's going. You probably noticed that we're performing some maintenance at the front entryway. We're going to update the landscaping and update the fountain there. It should be ready in the next couple weeks. The last thing I want to do is review the contents of the budget package so everybody understands the process that we're going through. I've got it right here. The first page should be in most of them. The first notice of the annual meeting. So the annual meeting is going to take place December 15th.
Wait, you're talking about this, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you what's inside so you guys know.
Oh,
You don't have to open it now. The first notice for the annual meeting tells you that the annual meeting is December 15th at 6:30. This is the meeting where the ballots are counted and the results are announced. Under it, it gives some instructions for qualifying for the board if you're interested in running. What I've done on the second page is kind of whittle that down to make it a little bit easier for you to follow. There's an intent to run for the board of directors form, which will be the next page. This form must be submitted fully completed. You can submit it by fax, email, mail, or deliver it in person no later than 4 p.m. on November 9th, 2020. Candidate information sheets will need to be submitted by November 13th, 2020, in order to be sent out with the ballots. Your information sheet can be one page, no larger than 8.5 by 11 inches, containing your qualifications and a platform for office. This should be submitted with your intent to run form if possible, and it's a black and white page, okay? This is the intent to run. This is the intent to run form. You have to sign it in. You have to fill it out in 2 spaces and sign it at the bottom. And just make sure you get that back to us in time, because that's something that happened last year. Like a week after the deadline, somebody came and wanted to run, and once you set a deadline for everybody else, you can't do it for one person. So please recognize the deadline and get it in on time.
When was the deadline again?
It's going to be November 9th at 4 p.m. And if you read the following day on the 10th, there'll be a meeting where you can come in and have a last-minute nomination if somebody did that. But I've been working here for 8 years. We've never had a last-minute nomination. So the next page is the budget meeting notice. This is next month's meeting. And then following is the budget. And Scott's going to talk more about the budget, but you'll know that with the pretty cover, the flowers, and the American flag. So if you have any questions about what to do with this, especially if you're interested in running for the board, or you have a question about the budget, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you as best I can.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Treasurer's report. Scott, you're up.
Could Eric read it for me so people can hear it better?
Yeah, sure.
The association remains on budget. Reserve expenditures for roofing systems, condominium hallways, and meter sheds ran higher than funds due to necessary repairs. These funds are being recovered from the operating surplus as planned from last October, and the board will formally vote on the transfer this evening. A lightning strike totaled the front gate surveillance equipment. Eric pursued our casually reluctant insurance company, and with his usual determination, in the end, we were reimbursed to the extent that the association is not out of pocket, including the deductible. As a result, we have been able to install a superior system as a replacement. The 2021 budget is in this month's mailing for review by the membership. The board has taken into account another lower than hoped rise in Social Security payments for next year. We have made adjustments to cap the quarterly assessment at no more than 1.5%. Any questions you have will be submitted to the office. Accounts receivable consists of 10 owners, 6 who are at the attorney, 1 we have on a payment plan, and 3 owe small amounts. Financial documents are available for you to review, and I have the balance sheet and income statement for everybody on the way in.
Anything else, Scott?
No, I think that's good for now. I just encourage people to look over the budget.
Okay. All right, thank you, Scott. President's report. The last several months at Pine Ridge have been challenging as well as trying, to say the least. It was a sad day when I announced to the community closing of the pool. This decision was made anonymous by the board of directors so as to minimize the effects of the COVID-19 on all residents. In May, we opened the pool after 2 months shutdown. We then followed up with opening up all other outside activities as conditions improved. In July, the board agreed to keep the clubhouse closed until conditions changed. In late September, Governor DeSantis lifted all restrictions in the state. We entered stage 3 in the state, but still remain under a state of emergency until November 3rd. Your board of directors agreed to expeditiously open the clubhouse using CDC and your safety committee's recommendation. I feel that the board of directors made very good decisions in the last 7 months to protect our residents. No one has come down with COVID-19. Only 2 residents got it in May through their employment. They isolated themselves and have recovered. There has been some misinformation being circulated through our community about how decisions are made and implemented. All decisions of importance have input from the board of directors. If there is a majority in favor, it is implemented. If not, it is shelved. The president is the only member of the board of directors who doesn't vote and breaks the tie. He has no authority over the other 6 members. Decisions like closing, opening our amenities have been consistently handled this way. Any major decision, example, finances and contracts, must be voted at the Board of Directors meeting. The President votes to break a 3-3 tie. The committee, safety, rules, landscape, amenities, and so forth, is chaired by one of the board members. These committees are strictly advisory. The Board of Directors are the ones who make the decisions after considering the prospective committee recommendations. All committees are equal. No one committee has authority over the other. So please check your sources before you make statements circulating through social media. It becomes very divisive when misinformation is spread through the community. Your credibility becomes questionable when you spread misinformation. Nextdoor is a convenient way of sharing information in your neighborhood, but it is not the proper channel to get your questions answered by Pine Ridge Management or the Board of Directors. Talk to them directly. This is the appropriate way to register your concerns and get answers to your question. Next year, there will be 4 openings on the Board of Directors, so please think about stepping forward and serving your community. Okay, that's all I got. All right, so committee reports. Why don't we start with you, Bill? You have the lake and the amenities.
Yeah. Okay, due to the virus, we haven't had any meetings scheduled in the clubhouse where we can all get together and talk about this. So, but I'll just give you some.
Get the microphone.
I'll just give you some. I'll just give you some of the things that we've been talking about with Eric. The lake continues to improve. Water quality is getting better. We've planted bulrushes along the east side of the lake, which is going to take a while before they come up where you can really see them real good. That's to help to attract the fish and to give a better cover for the small fish so we can continue to let our fish grow in the lake. Some of you may have noticed that we added the lights out here along the gazebo. That's been asked about for quite a while. Finally got that done. So hopefully that'll be an improvement for everyone that uses that facility out there. We're adding fish to the lake starting at the first of the month. We've got 300 catfish, 450 bluegill, and 50 shell cracker will be added to the lake. Hopefully this will help improve some of the fishing also. Tables at the lake, someone has mentioned that they were getting a little dark around the edges. Those are all going to be cleaned during the process that Eric has in here with the cleaners. So I think that's on the 16th that's supposed to start. So tables and all will all be addressed and they'll be straightened up and cleaned up. We had a pre-board meeting the other day and someone had mentioned about there was sand. They noticed sand in the bottom of the pool. And that has to do with when we done the acid wash on the pool itself. And we're looking at getting some type of machine, a robot. Ken had mentioned about putting in the pool to try to clean the bottom of the pool. So hopefully that will, if we can get something done like that. I know some of you that walk may have noticed that the sand does feel just a little bit rough on your feet in the bottom of the pool. So hopefully we can get that cleared up too. The work continues on the fountain, the entrance out there. You may have noticed that we painted it. We removed some of the brush and so forth that was inside of it, removed the pilings that was in front of it. What we're going to do now is going to do some planting around there with some flowers and so forth. So if anyone has any input on what you would like to see done with that, just let myself or Eric or someone know, and we'll try to work that in. Also, we mentioned about in the meeting the other day about adding an air cleaner in the clubhouse to try to clean the air also, which we just have with our filtered air in here. It just keeps circulating, so hopefully that will help that a little bit. And also a sanitizer, we're looking at that to spray down on everything after the meetings and so forth to try to help spread the virus also. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Bill. Would you want to tell them about the chairs, please?
Yeah. Some of you wondering about the pool chairs. All the chairs will be completely done probably in the next week or so, and we'll have them back. The lounge chairs, they're going to start right after they finish with the other chairs, and we're just going to take the backs off because that's all that needs to be done. It should be a lot faster to get those done, but everything is in the works and should be almost like new very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Another thing with sanitizing, we put these sanitizing stations around. Don't hesitate. You can never, I don't think, do it too much if you walk by.
Phil, do you have anything on rules?
The only thing I want to address is the stop sign. Now, I've caught 3 people already going through the stop sign. I didn't catch them personally. I followed them, so I know who they are. As far as speeding goes, I was in touch with the sheriff's office, and he said they have no way of enforcing crazy old people in a private community. He said if it gets serious, they'll send somebody down, like a sergeant.
I think what happened was if we let them in here, then they're going to take over and they're going to fine everybody. I don't know that we want that.
Well, I don't realize that I want it either.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they have access to
It's
it.
quite a process,
And
it's very difficult,
Yeah.
is what they told us.
Once you allow them on the property.
Yeah.
I did find out from the HOAs for the state statute that we as a community can enforce speeding and stop signs, but we can't issue a ticket. We have to get the sheriff's department. So if they issue a ticket for $35, the community can fine you $100. So on top of that, you get a double ticket.
All right, let's talk
I don't know if anybody wants it.
Let's talk about that.
I think if
Not right
everyone's just
here.
aware, if one of your friends speeds, tell them to slow down, it's not worth it.
It's not really.
Try that, you know?
I mean, it's like the stop sign, the speeding. I'd like to be able to, get
Control
this
it.
thing done by the cooperation of the people. I don't think we should have to get the law enforcement involved. I don't think the board of directors are policemen in this community. But like I said, and I've always said before, if we know who the culprit is, we'll talk to him. Okay? All right, so, John, do you have anything on activity?
No, with the COE issues going on right now, there was no real way to get everybody together and working on it, so nothing has happened with that issue.
Okay, thank you, John. And I'm gonna talk about safety. Not a lot happened. I think things have been pretty good in the community. I haven't heard of any major events, but we did have a resident get bitten by a dog, and then we couldn't get a hold of the dog. So the poor guy that got bit, you don't know if that dog has rabies or not. We put forth letters, and we tried. Did we knock on some doors? And nobody came forward. And then on top of that, I heard that they didn't have the dog on the leash. So they should have no more than a 6-foot leash with your dog. So I just hope that they had rabies shots for that dog and the guy that got bit is okay. But you never know with that. Yes?
Is it possible it might have been a stray? No. No.
But I'll expound upon that. The person that got bit, they described the resident or a visitor to the resident. He described the dog, and we just couldn't locate it. So they might have been visiting, they might have left, and that was the last time you saw the dog in the residence. So, but what? No more questions. Well,
It pertains to that.
you can ask your question at the end of the meeting.
There's no questions.
Okay. Isabel, you got anything?
No, I don't.
What committee are you on?
I'm not on the committee right now.
Okay, so you don't have anything.
No, I
Okay, just nice that you're here.
don't.
All right. Mike, you got architectural, do you have anything to say?
Architectural Review Committee, and no meetings we had, and no information.
We can't hear you. I can't.
Got nothing.
Did you hear that? Okay, that's it on the committee reports. Old business, update on COVID-19. Okay, so Scott was good enough to do this graph for us, and I think everybody has this, is that correct? When you came in tonight? And it looks like, and this is for Lee County, it looks like Lee County hasn't returned to before we were hit in the spring with this, but you know, everything's open now, schools are open, and that's why it hasn't come down lower than it is. But this is just for your information, okay? I think in the state of Florida, you know, everybody has mixed feelings what the governor's doing, but I think his concern was to get the economy going in the state of Florida. If you were one of the unlucky persons that was laid off, you're probably glad it's opened up.
Yes.
The restaurants are opened up. I
think the bottom line is if we all do the right thing and are strict with it, that we'll make every effort to keep it out of here. And that's what we want. Keep it out of here. We haven't had it. We want to keep it that way. End of story, you know?
And like Eric says, you know, your cooperation, we need your cooperation. We don't want to have to shut anything down. We don't want to go backwards. We only want to go forwards. But it's up to everybody to wear the mask when you're inside, keep your distance outside, do the cleaning out there. It seems like everything's been very successful that way, but don't forget, we're going to get more and more people coming down here, and it doesn't look like anything's going to be available for inoculation until probably the beginning of the year. So just a word to the wise, okay? All right, new business, discuss transfer of surplus money to reserve. Do you want to take that one, Scott?
Yeah, it's some housekeeping. I wrote up the motion. I'm afraid people won't be able to hear me properly.
We hear you.
Eric should have a copy.
Do you want me to read it for you, Scott?
Yes, if you would. You can be my proxy.
Motion by Scott Harris, Treasurer. At the end of 2019, the association had deficits in 3 reserve line items due to extraordinary expenses related to structural disrepair. The motion from Scott is that the following amounts be distributed from the previous year's operating surplus to the indicated reserve funds. Condo 1 hallway flooring, $13,678.04. Condo 2 hallway flooring, $2,651.67. And Condo 2 meter doors and fire alarms, $3,573.42.
So that's the motion?
Yeah, to transfer those amounts from our surplus into our reserve items.
Okay.
The discussion is...
Well, wait a minute. Let's have the discussion after you get that second. Do we have a second?
Oh, okay.
I second that.
Okay, any discussion? Scott?
Just an explanatory note on the reserves. If you do run a negative, you have to make that up, like within that year. And the thing is, we would have to assess the residents then to make that up in the quarterly fees. But I think a good use of the operating surplus, which every year the membership votes to roll any surplus that we might have over to the next year to use for bills and situations and that we need to, and I think this is probably one of the best uses of that surplus. So we apply it to the deficit, that zeroes out that amount, and it doesn't affect the quarterly fees for the following year, if you follow me.
And also, this is something that's done every year. It's a way to manage the dues and also manage how much cash you keep on hand, because you don't need a huge surplus if you're an association. You really only charge what it costs to do the job.
Okay, any other discussion on the board on this item? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, now we'll go on to questions. So again, come up to the microphone, wipe it off please to protect everybody. Raise your hand if you want to come up. Let's go. Huh? Yeah, this is only topics on what we talked about, remember?
Okay, this is about the dog situation.
The dog park or the
No,
dogs?
about the dog itself. Okay, I realize that when somebody purchases a property, it asks dog, type, size, color. Why not have a picture? That can be put on file.
That wouldn't be a bad thing to do. One thing that does happen is people move in and they don't have a dog, or, you know, God forbid the dog gets old and they don't have that dog anymore, and then they replace, and they don't necessarily run down to the office to tell us. And then the other thing that we have, which I have a feeling this situation falls into, because if somebody has a dog, they have to walk it no matter what.
Right.
So we would have spotted this thing.
Well,
I
and
think it was
just
a
like she just
a
said,
visitor's dog.
you get a
And
new
visitors are not
car,
supposed to bring dogs.
you have to let you guys know if we got a new car. So
Well, and you're definitely going to, because
you need the pass,
the gate.
right?
The difference is, you know, some will do it and some won't. The ones that do it, good, and then we at least have those, you know, which is good.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea if the pictures
But then the
went
other thing
along
that
with the
happens is,
application.
visitors really are not supposed to bring their dogs here. And, because I think what happens, you have a visiting dog doing this, and then we never find the dog again, and that's not good, you know, so.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? John?
Did you watch it?
Yeah, she was.
Yes.
First, thank you again for volunteering. My question has to do with the website, Pine Ridge, next door.
No, that's not our website.
Well, we've seen stuff that's been put out on there by board members asking questions.
Yep.
So I think that we should just stick to our website here and contact the people that we're gonna, you know, you're gonna ask questions of. Nobody else in next door needs to know any of our stuff. The second thing is that you should get everybody, when you send out those file folders, to re-update all their information with their vehicle IDs, their tags, and their new email addresses or phone numbers. And there's a lot of people that don't have the Pine Ridge sticker on the back of their window that are coming in here, and there's no way you're gonna stop these guys speeding. We're gonna have to throw one of you board members down in front of the car. Mr. President.
One way to limit the speeding is those speed bumps, but we don't want those, you know.
Again, thank you for volunteering.
Okay.
I didn't touch it.
That's what she said.
John, I know you're special, but you gotta do what everybody else
I'm not that
does.
special.
Okay.
Is that good? Patrick?
Lorraine, make sure he does it right.
Is it clean? Do I dare stand there after you?
Oh, you better wait 5 minutes.
Watch this. Okay, I just have a concern about these
Guys,
brown.
please.
Hello?
Come on, have
I
respect.
guess so, yeah.
The brown tables, these wooden tables, they're being wiped off with the wipes, and we're afraid that it's going to ruin the surface. Do you think that we should put some, just put, we have tablecloths, keep tablecloths on them and wipe those off.
Then you got a porous thing on it, I don't know if that's so good.
You're gonna be fine with the wipes.
They're okay.
These tables are pretty beat up as it is.
And speaking of sticky
You
though,
know,
Okay.
we can try to get some different wipes. Unfortunately, they weren't available other than these.
You got anything else, Lorraine, you wanna
Maybe
say
the
anything about
Clorox
the
will-
activities or anything?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to wash it again.
So hard.
You up there, Lorraine?
I know. Actually, we are having a limited amount of people at a Halloween party on the 31st, and we have a full house. 40 people signed up, and we're hoping to have some fun for once.
The craft fair.
And then we have a craft fair coming up the next week on the 7th, and hot dogs and veggie burgers that day will be for sale.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, anybody else? Lorraine, did you wipe that off?
No. You want me to wipe it?
Well, you named John to wipe it.
When you're done, can you come
You're
back
not
here and help
touching
me?
it, but you are.
Thank you, Lorraine.
You're
Very
quite welcome.
cooperative. All right, anybody else have a question?
Ready for this?
Oh, I didn't even know who you were with your mask on.
My name's Bob Burke. I don't want to beat this thing to death, but this dog thing. I spent, how many years? 20-something years as an animal control officer up in Massachusetts. And the one thing that I don't see down here all the way is people having licenses on their dogs. You're worried about rabies? If a dog is licensed in every state, has a life dog license law. The dog has to have a rabies shot in order to get a license. So if they would bring a copy of their dog license with them, when they come down here, hand it into the office with their paperwork, I think that would solve a big problem.
So you've seen dogs around here without the tag
Well, they have
on?
tags, it doesn't mean that they have a license.
Well, they usually have a rabies tag though. When they
Not
get
a
rabies
dog
tags.
license. That's another dog license.
Yeah, but see, in
The
Michigan, we
rabies tag
have both.
and the
I know when they
license, two different
give,
things.
or I was told when they give the rabies shot, the doctor sends something in to
Not
to
every
the
state.
county,
All right.
and then you're supposed to get the tag, or they're gonna charge
Supposed
you,
to,
or they're gonna
yeah.
charge you more down the
And every
line.
year they change the color. So you can tell by looking at it what color it is.
Yeah, right.
The
whether
color
it's-
and the shape,
So if you got a license, you got a rabies shot.
Right.
yep.
All right, so if you get
Bottom
bit by a
line.
dog, grab that collar, I guess. All
Oh, yeah, right.
right, how big are these dogs
Good
around?
luck. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Wipe it off.
I'm working, I'm wiping.
The rabies shot is every 2 years now.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you. Bob.
Every 2 years?
You're a good man. Anybody else? Anybody else? This is the last call.